What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new What If Mini. So this one is a What If Mini for a reason. It's more hypothetical than story focused, but there are some changes in the story. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the problems with Super Saiyan 3. As we saw during the Buu saga, Ki leak is a massive flaw, and it prevents the form from being used at its full potential, like it was when Goku was dead. But what if this problem could be worked around, and the form could be quote-unquote mastered? I'm hesitant to actually say mastered, which is why I'm putting it in quotes, because this will be more so if Super Saiyan 3 didn't have the issues that it did, and it actually does affect the story more than you may think. Sure, the bulk of it would be in the Buu saga, but as you see later on in this What If, there are some certain changes that happen during Super and beyond. So let's discuss what may have happened if Super Saiyan 3 didn't have the same flaws that it did, or if it was mastered. This all starts when Goku's in the afterlife, when he first discovers the form. While dead, Goku didn't have to worry about this issue. It's not like the amount of stamina or ki he had was a big deal. But still, let's say that he picks up on this flaw. While using the form, he notices that ki keeps escaping from him, even when he tries to charge it up. Sure, it wouldn't be an issue because he has infinite reserves of it while dead, but that's not what he's concerned about. He's more so intrigued, like this could be an opportunity. He picks up on this issue and thinks, maybe if he were able to contain all the ki and not have it escape at all, it could potentially make the form more powerful. Kinda similar to what we saw with Super Saiyan and with Super Saiyan Blue later on in the manga. So if Goku works on this, who knows? Maybe this next step of Super Saiyan will be even greater than he could have ever imagined. So, while he continues his training, partially with this form, he also works on trying to figure out a way to keep the ki contained within him. Whether it's a temporary or permanent solution, this could greatly increase the effectiveness of the form, as well as the efficiency. And who knows, maybe he will be back on Earth someday and this would be useful. As ki flows out of his body, he works on trying to contain it. The thing is, this does take a lot of concentration, and in the heat of a fight, he's not too sure how well it would work. At least at the moment, it is something that he needs to figure out how to master first. But he does pick up on a way to do it, and since the mastery is being done this way, you can see how this what if is already altering the form. It's taking one of the key downsides of it and flipping it on its head, as well as allowing Goku to increase the efficiency of this form greatly. He focuses hard, trying to keep all the ki within him. And without all this ki escaping, I feel like it would possibly make the form stronger. Again, this is all hypothetical and it's only for this scenario, but when you think about it, that's exactly how perfected Super Saiyan Blue worked in the manga. Once you trap all the energy that's flowing out, it allows you to use the form at a much higher level of power. So this quote-unquote mastered Super Saiyan 3 might be more effective than regular Super Saiyan 3, not only in terms of efficiency but power. Goku keeps this in mind, and eventually we arrive to the Buu saga. Ultimately, this may not affect anything during the Buu saga, at least not until the end. Goku's decisions early on in the arc would still remain the same, and even when he uses Super Saiyan 3 against Buu, he probably wouldn't end up killing him because he does want to see if the next generation can handle it. And it turns out they do have some troubles of their own. The Buu saga plays out like normal. Buu goes through many transformations, as well as the heroes, accessing new techniques and forms, eventually bringing us to the birth of Kid Buu. Earth is destroyed, leading Goku, Vegeta, and everyone else, at least whoever's surviving, to the sacred world of Kai's, where the final showdown is about to begin. And while fighting Buu, Goku notices that this issue becomes apparent. Using Super Saiyan 3 causes ki to leak from his body, and he actually completely forgot about this. But the thing is, he's prepared now. Vegeta is able to buy him some time while Goku recharges. And this time, Goku will focus on retaining his power within him. It may be a bit harder since he isn't dead, and he will really have to rely on the containment of this power. And after some time, Goku thanks Vegeta, as he jumps back into the fight. It does require patience and focus, but he's able to contain the power of Super Saiyan 3 within him, with the only downside now being the fact that he has to focus on maintaining this energy. But it's much better than the downside from before. Vegeta watches in amazement at Kakarot's new power-up, truly astonished to see how strong he is. He acknowledges that he's the number one, basically acting as his hype man. He definitely will be the one to defeat Kid Buu. Goku's able to land powerful punches and attacks that stun the beast, with even Kid Buu being amazed at this power-up. I would give him some sort of reaction, but most likely he'd just grunt in response to this. That's really all he does. Frustrated, he begins fighting back, getting a little sloppy as Goku keeps hitting him with powerful attacks. Not wanting to waste any more time, Goku waits for an opening and sees that this is it. Buu's destructive yet sloppy attacks leave him open, allowing Goku to begin charging a Kamehameha. Buu rushes towards him with a powerful punch, but Goku dodges. Buu then attacks with a kick, and Goku teleports around him. Imagine it kinda like what he did with Beerus in their first fight. Buu keeps trying to attack, but Goku keeps teleporting, and Buu tries to do the same, but since he's fighting so sloppy, Goku's able to hit him with kicks in between, and eventually the blast is charged up. He purposefully leaves himself open so Kid Buu can attack him, and he takes the bait easily. He goes in for a powerful punch as Goku instant transmissions behind him, a little bit below him as well. He lets out this massive blast, catching Buu off guard before he could even turn around fully. This Kamehameha is amazing. Buu can't even push it back because he was caught off guard and it's too strong. It hits him full force head on as Goku expels all of his power into the blast, illuminating the planet in a bright blue light. The Kamehameha expands off into space, widening as it goes further, destroying every single one of Buu's cells. What should we call this? How about a Supreme Kamehameha? One far stronger than Goku's ever done before. With the Supreme coming from Supreme Kai, yeah, get it? Yeah? I think it sounds cool. With the Supreme Kamehameha, Goku uses every last bit of his energy, and continues firing for a long time, just for good measure. Buu is torn to pieces, then eventually into little particles, and finally, those particles are disintegrated. Tired out, Goku goes back into base and lands on the planet, giving a thumbs up. He can't sense Buu's energy anywhere. He must have actually done it. Everyone celebrates. And although Earth did get destroyed, they're not too worried, because they're easily able to get to Namek and restore all the damage done. Earth is restored, all of humanity is revived, and the memory of Buu is erased from everyone's mind. But more importantly, the biggest change here is that now, Goku sees Super Saiyan 3 as a viable option, as does Vegeta. Vegeta most likely didn't learn this form because he saw the flaws with it. Why would he want to learn something with such a massive downside? But here, he's intrigued. It's far more powerful than anything he's seen before, and if he's able to use it as well as Goku, well, it's game over. The form is clearly amazing here, and Vegeta is set on learning it. Over the next few years, he does more training with Goku than he probably did in the original story, as he's now looking to pursue this form. And no surprise, Vegeta is able to do it, learning how to master it with Goku's knowledge now. And with the two of them now having it, it allows them to train at higher levels too, meaning they might even get a little stronger here. You see, as for Gohan, I'm not too sure if he would end up learning it here. For one, he might not have the time to fully learn it, and two, he's fine sticking with Ultimate, kinda like he was in Super. Who knows? Maybe Goten and Trunks want to train to use it individually next. They saw how cool it was when they did it as Gotenks. So maybe sometime soon, they could set aside some free time and actually try and learn it. Anyways, we now head into Battle of Gods, where we see the next change in a series of minor changes throughout Super. First of all, while fighting Beerus, Goku would probably take an extra hit to be taken down. Not that this amounts to much, but it's probably worth mentioning. Just to show you that yes, Goku is stronger here in Super Saiyan 3. But the most noticeable change here is when Vegeta comes into play, during the whole My Bulma moment. This of course causes Vegeta to rage, but this time around he's going to do a lot more damage to Beerus. He immediately goes into Super Saiyan 3, filled with anger and a bunch of power from that anger. Super Saiyan 3 combined with the power boost that he gets from being angry, plus with the fact that Vegeta's a little bit stronger by this point, when you take all those into account, this would give him a much more impressive showing against Beerus. He'd probably get a few hits and that would hurt, but still overall he would be nothing to Beerus. But I feel like this performance from Vegeta would actually be enough to impress Beerus, more so than the original story. And because of that, I'm willing to say that here, Vegeta might be the one chosen for the Super Saiyan God ritual, possibly at the request of Beerus. If that's the kind of power Vegeta has within him, well, Beerus would be pretty excited to have someone like that as a rival. So instead of Goku getting Super Saiyan God, Vegeta gets it here. This will have a snowball effect as it'll mean Vegeta will keep being ahead of Goku for a bit, at least for the time being. Of course, Goku's eventually going to get Super Saiyan God and train with Beerus as well, but there will be a bit of a gap in power for at least some time. And the thing is, once they unlock Super Saiyan God, well of course they're going to be using that more. But so much time has passed they'd probably end up reaching a point where they could use Super Saiyan 3 almost as easily as Super Saiyan 1. Against someone like Frieza, this of course wouldn't have too much impact, we'd still see Super Saiyan Blue being used there. But during the Universe 6 tournament, Goku and Vegeta would probably be relying on this to conserve their energy, kinda like how they've paced themselves with Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 in the past. They've gotten so much experience that now, Super Saiyan 3 is the opposite of what it was originally. This couldn't be done in the main story because of the Ki leak from Super Saiyan 3, but they've worked around this, mastered it, and been able to control the Ki leak subconsciously, to the point where they barely even have to focus for it. Not only would it affect that, but it would influence Super Saiyan Blue a bit. They've seen how effective this is for Super Saiyan, and they've seen how effective it is for Super Saiyan 3. So maybe they could apply the same principle to Super Saiyan Blue. We saw this in the manga with perfected Super Saiyan Blue, but in my what ifs I tend to follow the anime's continuity. However here, this story would be having elements both from the manga and anime. Sure, Blue Kaioken might still exist because the tournament wouldn't change too much, but then later on, they'd also probably try working towards mastering Super Saiyan Blue in the same way they did with Super Saiyan 3, meaning both of them would exist in this scenario, instead of Goku just having Blue Kaioken like in the anime. Best part is, this would benefit Vegeta too. He doesn't have the same ability to do Kaioken like Goku, But since he now has perfected Super Saiyan Blue, this would end up buffing him. You see where I'm going with this? Like I mentioned before, this affects the story more technically than in terms of the actual storytelling, because it changes the essential mechanics of different forms. Super Saiyan 3 is actually being used here, and is a viable option during combat. This influence then later spread onto Super Saiyan Blue, a little bit of a snowball effect. But here is really where the changes would begin to stop. I mean, during the Tournament of Power, we'd probably be seeing Super Saiyan 3 used way more than it was. I mean, it was only used like once there. But here, Goku and Vegeta would actually be relying on it quite a bit. But in terms of this tournament specifically, I don't feel like it would change too much, other than making Kale and Caulifla way more jealous, just because they actually get to see Super Saiyan 3 in action this time instead of just seeing Goku use it once and then turning it off. But this change in the story would affect people around Goku and Vegeta. For one, this makes the form way more viable if Kale, Caulifla, or even Kaba decide to pursue it. And like I said in that brief side note earlier, Goten and Trunks could probably go towards this too. Individually, this would help both of them become stronger, and it might even make Gotenk stronger as well. He still probably would have the problem with the fusion having a time limit because of how much energy Super Saiyan 3 uses, but he still would see a benefit in terms of power, mostly because he can use the form more efficiently, and because both Goten and Trunks probably would be training more now. I mean, they've experienced the form themselves and they've seen how easily Goku and Vegeta use it, so this may finally be their shot to get something like Super Saiyan 2 or 3. I mean, anything that makes them relevant is a welcome change. But yeah, I think you could see why this is a What If Mini. Overall, I think it's a cool concept. It completely changes the ending of the Buu saga, it alters Battle of Gods, there are some small changes throughout Super, and one of the coolest things is that it probably would actually make Goten and Trunks relevant. Not quickly, but as the series goes on, they'd want to try and pursue this. It was pretty fun to cover, because a lot of people do bring up the flaws with Super Saiyan 3, and it's cool to hypothesize what might have happened if Super Saiyan 3 didn't have these flaws, or if they could be worked around. But we'll end off here for now. So what do you guys think? Do you think more would have changed? Do you think less would have changed? Do you think something like this should be introduced in the actual series? Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future uploads on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.